Nigga, I'm bye. That was it. That's it right there.
It's the Exes and O's podcast back with another episode where we don't claim to be experts, but feel like we got a little bit of experience with this thing called life. It's your boy Jeremy.
I'm Janae, and today we're kicking off our foreplay with a little show review. Um, Late to the party, but just finished watching House of Dragons. What do you think about the uh, the show? Since you're a Game of Thrones connoisseur, you know.
Um, I don't know about being a connoisseur, but the one that did get her into it, and I've gotten other people into it. It's a good show.
Kind of sounds like a.
uh, um, I think it is definitely, you could definitely tell it's a lesser script, lesser cast. You know what I mean? So I mean, I just think it's just quality wise, it's a little less than Game of Thrones or what someone might be expecting off the Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the plot is real generic and how they've gone about unfolding it has been pretty. It feels rushed. Cause
Very much so,
like
even
within
though
the,
they took
yeah, it's like 10 episodes and we've already gone what 15, 20 years. Like goddamn, like, we
this
we
ain't gonna be a long drawn out.
we spread this out. So the fact that you rushed it, and you've had like, from one episode to another might be like 5, 10 years have passed, and with that you lose a little bit of that character development. Because I think that was the biggest thing with the original Game of Thrones. Was the in depth character development, and everybody that
Mm-hmm.
read the book, the character development of each character. You know what I mean? You knew who they were, to where it's like, yo, I'm still trying to figure out who Damon is. Like, yo, like, who is this guy?
Just realized it was the
You know what I
prince.
mean?
Just realized.
Um,
Interesting man.
so yeah, there's those it's those little things, honestly. Like even old girl, the sister too, who was the king, who was supposedly the king or married to the Driftwood. She's married to, you know what I mean? Her flew away in the dragon or whatnot. Like, again, you see how I don't even know her name. Like, I don't even, like, I wish they would have even gone into more depth with her character. Because she was supposed to be queen or she was supposed, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there was, like, some conspiracy they feel like behind it. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I watched all 10 episodes. Now, while I watch the next season, of course not. I will not watch that next season whatsoever.
Sure.
It's below me.
Hmm. Well, um, yeah, I kind of guessed the plot a little bit too soon, and anytime I feel like I can guess the plot too soon, it's just, you know what I mean? They really didn't throw too many curveballs in there as they did the first. You know what I mean? They had so many tricks up they sleeve with that one. This one was pretty, yeah. You get what's about to happen before it happens. It's just actually watching it. I do like that they, of course, had black representation this go around. Even though I do see why the black representation didn't so like go far once you actually watch. Like, oh, so y'all made it so we understand why there was no black folks in the Game of Thrones because clearly,
Watered down bloodlines.
very much so. Um, that was probably the biggest plus I have. Like, oh, it's a lot of us in here. Look at that. It is a freaking cat drinking out of a bowl. Um, yeah, that was the biggest takeaway I had for it, not enough action. Um, Jaggers didn't even fight like that. It was like it was cool, like you know what I'm saying. It wasn't really wasn't a first season grabber. It didn't really grab. You know, I can understand how people wouldn't watch the second season because of how amateur, or not even amateur, but intermediate they did this one. Yeah, that's my take on it.
You gonna watch the next season?
Oh, um,
I'm gonna be a little disappointed if you say no, just for
I
the simple fact of some of the stuff that you keep up with for like 6 seasons, and you
wow.
should have been gave it up.
So, um, we're gonna keep on into the Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, theme of things for this episode. We're gonna talk a little bit about legacy because it was kind of interesting how that went on. How important it was. More so, with the black man, the black couple, the V's. I'm gonna call them the V's. I don't, whatever, VF, whatever. Um, he knew they wasn't his grandsons, but he didn't care. They don't. His words. They don't remember bloodline. They remember names. Very interesting and true indeed. Very interesting and true indeed. Um, how important do you think legacy is in regards to as far as namesake and actual what your impact is?
Well, I guess I'll speak on real quick, like what I think legacy means in that regard. Personally, I think it's more of the latter of what she was talking about when it comes in regards to your impact. Um, I don't think many people leave a legacy. Let's just call it like it is. You know what I mean? People leave memories. They don't leave legacies. Case in point, I don't know nothing about my grandparents. I mean, I know, I knew both. I know both my. Okay, one grandma passed. I knew her a little bit. I know my present grandma. Hey, grandma. Um, however, I don't know nothing zilch about my grandfather's. I really couldn't even tell you much about my grandmother's history or accomplishments or things and obstacles she has overcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I have memories of her. But as far as her legacy, couldn't tell you nothing about it. You know, and that's just a case in point because then when you trickle down, just that's we don't even got to go further than that. I, you know, and I said all that to say this: that legacy is something that you gets passed down and to remember. It's almost like folklore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Tales like it, your great 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 grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He started this da 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 business that's a legacy he left. It's more than a memory. A memory is shared. Is there's like one link between memories. You know what I mean? A legacy is a memory that transcends generations and time. I feel like so it's a difference. It's more expansive than a memory. The lesser version is a memory of someone. The greater version is a legacy. Now to go on to the namesake real quick. I've always believed that I think it's in Proverbs what it says a good name is better than choice gold and silver. I believe that, and that's more or less. I think it goes into reputation. That's like I've never cared about being unemployed because I was never unemployed long. If I want employment, it's a phone call away. Boom. Why? Because my reputation, not just my resume and my skills and certifications and all that speak for itself, but it's just my reputation. My reputation.
It is just your reputation, huh? Oh man,
You know what I mean? It's a big one.
it's there. It's there.
Nah, but in all actuality, like the connections and relationships that I've built with other people, even if it was only I've worked with them for 2 months, was enough for you to know the type of person and what I bring to the table as an employee or coworker or whatever the regard. So I do believe in having a good name, and again, outside of the workforce in general, you never know who your children or someone you might know might come across. Like, oh, you such and such people. That's a discount.
I
You
know your
know
people.
what I mean? That might be a business deal right there,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, oh, because of such and such, I f with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That could be a spouse. Who knows? You might end up getting somebody because you know somebody. Okay, that's a groupie. But stop.
Wow.
I'm joking, but nah, in all seriousness. So I mean, that's my how I look at legacy and like having a good name. But how important is legacy for me, and what kind of legacy am I trying to leave behind? Uh, I don't think I've ever thought too much about legacy, to keep it a buck. Like I never. Um, I know what I'm trying to do will impact generations beyond just my own and my daughters. However, I just look at it like I'm trying to do my best, what I constantly sit there and refer to as I'm trying to fly. I'm trying to, because no one taught me how to fly. I believe that we were all given wings by way of our gifts.
Nigga. Legacy.
What does legacy mean to you? What kind of legacy are you trying to leave behind?
Um, I think it's so different because when black folks usually think of legacy, if it's not, of course, it's very rare that it's something left to it. But when we think of it, it's more like talents and things like that. Like, oh, your dad, your granddad, your great granddad played football. Of course, you're gonna play football. All your people play football. So when I think of it in that aspect of how we are usually thinking about legacy overall, how it's actually, which saying that it's still a legacy. We still, being a football player is a hell of a legacy still as well. But I think there's so much more that we could leave as a legacy. That's not saying that it's not a legacy of lawyers and doctors and all that stuff, but as for me, my thing for legacy is more so, yeah, like I was like, just to go off of him, impact. Your impact of whatever it may be. If it's your talent, if it's your namesake or what you do for the community, if it's a business you run, um, whatever it is, um, that you impacted for however long you impacted, um, that you're known for in that time period. Like, you know what I mean? Say a sport or say a business, something like that. What do I want to leave as a legacy? To go off of not even going off of what he was saying, I think because I come from such a like I have seen three generations of my mom's side. Um, Two of them were business own. One of them was a business owner. Other one was a professional college student and librarian. And the current financial advisor. And yeah, a workaholic for no reason. Um, just to not exist, but to live. I probably think what would be what I want to my daughter to know, like, do what actually makes you happy, not so much just going through the day to day process of, you know what I mean? If you, yes, if you want to be an artist, okay, sure. It won't be as hard as it is for, you know what I mean? Because I'm going through it. She has a mother that's going through it, or whatever, and she has a dad that's going to be a business owner and stuff like that. So, um, it's she has a little bit of easier transition to do whatever she wants to do because she has two parents that are doing what they want to do. Um, so that would probably be my thing. Is just to be like happiness, just big ball of goof, just goof. I'll punch you. I'll punch you right now, right in your face. I'm not even gonna look. So that's what I think. Legacy. If she picks up, well, you know what I mean, my art stuff, go ahead. I got it from my mom. She got it from her mom. That's the legacy right there, huh? Yeah, there it goes. And that's it. That's all. So next subject, on to the same game of House of Dragons thing we have going on here. Self love. Um, when it comes to running your household and, for instance, being a king and queen, commanding the respect you need and knowing your worth. And what do you have?
Um, I think it goes beyond saying self love is important.
Mm,
Gotta love yourself before someone else can love you. Cause it's almost they can't love you if you don't show them how. By the way that you love yourself. Um, this does it's a subject we're going to touch on in a little bit about knowing yourself, but the importance. But it's really you got to do things that make you smile and that just genuinely light you up, make you happy. Uh, and I think you got to be committed to doing those things. That's like I enjoy walks and going and being outside in nature, little stuff like that. I love reading. I love engaging in intellectual conversations, and these are things that I do on a regular basis. However, if you were to ask me what is my self love routine is my morning routine. I wake up every day. Now, I'm not the biggest stickler on it has to be this time every day, and if I don't, oh my gosh, I feel bad. No, but I wake up and do the same thing, whether it's 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 1 o'clock in the morning. Whenever I wake up, I'm going through the same checkbox and marks of things. And I do that and I consider that my self love because that's what really starts my day, really makes me just feel good. If I don't do nothing else that day, I just feel accomplished by what I was able to do with my morning routine. Um, so I think my morning routine in general is just dedicated to, again, I deserve that. It takes up about the first hour or so of my day, and they sit there and say you're at your best and you're your freshest in the morning. So I invest the best of myself in myself every single day. You know, but again, like I said, I think it's just important to engage in those things that just naturally make you smile, that just naturally light you up, and to engage in them on a regular basis as much as possible.
Well, my thing on self love, uh, when I think about it, it's not being so hard on yourself. Knowing, of course, you can do better, but not beating yourself up to the point where you're stagnant and you're not moving forward. You're gonna make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So love yourself through your mistakes. Love yourself through your victories. Love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Through your growth, through the process. You know you're going to grow. You're not going to be the same person, and that's okay. You don't have to be. You are. You know you're able to love yourself enough to know that you won't be. It's ridiculous to be the same person you were. So, but also knowing what you love. As he was saying, my music and art in general, of course, it's pretty simple. But I think that's more in, like he said, that's a later subject of tying into the knowing thyself as well. So, yeah, that'd be my thing on self love is not being so hard on yourself, loving yourself through the process, um, and allowing yourself to grow and to, you know what I mean, experience things. You know, the hippie me. Okay, now if you want to go straight into the knowing thyself, since we were just in that category of self love and knowing thyself, since it kind of correlates in all importance.
Yeah, and more so, um, in the aspect of like again, like I said, this is just keeping with the theme of running your household, and
Mm-hmm.
like me and her, we have two different households.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's why we're speaking coming from it as the heads as of right now of our two households, looking for our king and queen. In which case, so when it comes to knowing yourself, how important is that if you are going to if you're when you're looking for a spouse?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is because no because in general again knowing thyself goes without speaking.
Of
Mm,
course.
You know, I ain't got to explain what's already understood.
Of course.
So, but in regards more so of the relationship aspect, yes, it's important. We were just having this debate about before. Is it even necessary to know your love language? Uh, yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I don't think, but it's, again, I don't think you have to. I think the more important thing is knowing what the different love languages are, because sometimes, yes, you want to be able to relay to your partner what your love language is, so that they can, so you can tell them in a way this is how you receive and enjoy being loved yourself, as well as how you're going to give it. But at the same, but it's important to just know the love languages in general. So again, when you understand what your partner's love language is, you can again love them in that fashion. Because again, I'm telling you now, you run into somebody with the same love language, kudos. Probably not gonna happen though. And then so you're gonna wanna you're gonna wanna you know understand how to love them if they even want to be loved. Um,
Whoa.
but no, in all seriousness, I think it's important to know like what are your strengths and weaknesses. Nobody wants to come to a feast or come to Thanksgiving and you don't know what you're bringing. What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to this feast? What do you bring to this meal? You know what I mean? I understand if we both can't bring the turkey. Can you add anything else to that? Like, I'll do the green bean casserole. You got the mac and cheese, whatever the case may be.
Green bean casserole.
I know that's my brother's shit, bro. I don't like. I know. Well, it didn't sound right coming out my mouth. It really didn't. It really didn't. But nonetheless, like I said, it's just understanding what you bring to the table. I think that is important. And I feel like you might not know everything you bring to the table, but you should have an idea of what your strengths and weaknesses are, or why women or men in the past have enjoyed your company. You know, so I think it's important. I think it's that vitally important.
Is it important? Yes, absolutely. Is it important? Is it a necessity? No. You can learn. You don't need to know your love language to get into a relationship. Um, because I think, as some people experience, some people don't know what type of, it's levels to love. Hmm? And with these being, let me break this down because some people here, let me
There's levels to this love, huh? Okay.
it's levels to love. You know, um, some people have loved for years, but never loved they come across a certain person and they've never loved like they've ever loved them before. Like that is something new. So what you may have thought was what you wanted and may have thought and your do's and don'ts from before subtly don't matter as much, do they? I'll scoot back for a second here. So again, back to what I was saying. Is it important? Absolutely is. Is it a necessity? Not always, because it's levels. Some people bring out certain things in certain people that other people can't. Some people can bring out the freak in a woman. Some people can bring out submissiveness in a woman. Some people can't. Some people can bring loyalty and respect and all that from a man. Some people can't. It's levels.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's how I feel. You know, that's Dr. Janae 101 there. I My office hours are open from 9 to 5 Monday through Thursdays. I don't take anything on Fridays. It's my day, you know. Anyway, ah, now, self healing after a breakup. Let's get on it. Let's let's dive let's dive into this here. This is an interesting subject that he brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I was just going to. I'm about to bring it back to you, but I
Oh, I
wanted
thought you had your
to.
snorkel gear and everything. She's like, I'm about to just dive into
No,
this.
I'm about to. I'm revert. But I just want to know, what do you think about how is or what? Of course, what do you think about it, and what exactly we've went through a breakup,
We
a
did.
divorce,
We
at
did.
that. Um,
I thought
let
you
the
had a.
papers, let the court show it.
Thought you needed a marriage for that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we were married.
Was we? That's crazy. I wasn't there though. Uh, you dragged me down to court for some reason. No, I didn't. I didn't want to come. What was your like? What exactly did you? How did you get through the self heal? I mean, get yourself back together after after one. And what do you think is the important? You know what I mean? Is there a time frame, or what do you feel?
First off, I'll say there's no time frame. Everybody's different. It's funny. I was having this conversation with my sister the other day, and it's like you can do self healing while still in the process of the relationship. Funny.
Quiet quitting.
Yeah, that's so quiet quitting the relationship. You know what I mean? Start working on your resume. You know what I mean? But you can start. I do believe some of the process can be done in the midst of the end of the relationship, and doesn't always have to come um after the relationship. I do think it is important. Not necessarily. Listen. It is vitally important for yourself because you should not be walking around with open wounds or whatnot. But it's also do right by the next person. If you want that next relationship to work, do the necessary healing. Because what's the saying go? Hurt people. And believe me, when you fall in love with somebody or like when you find that person, you don't want to hurt them unnecessarily because you hadn't previously healed from the previous relationship. What did I do? I got a voodoo doll and stabbed it. I had like FU affirmations nightly.
Mm-hmm. All to end up working together. It didn't work, but he's healed. See it? Is he
Yeah,
though?
and I'm a few pillows short. No, but in all seriousness, me personally, again, we've spoken about this in times past about having to humble yourself, and it was regardless of what side of the breakup you are on, I feel like it's necessary, and I took the necessary steps. It's like, yo, what did, again, I'm not a saint. What was my part into it? You know, because to a degree, let's be honest, you break up, both sides are pointing to the other side. You know what I mean? I'm over here pointing at her, she's pointing at me, and then that's a fight within itself, you know. But listen, when you're doing self healing, just recognizing what you can improve on, because you're not perfect. Uh, what are things that you would like to do better going forward? And again, you also got to recognize because you want to sit there and curse your spouse or be upset with your spouse instead of just recognizing like, yo, like we were a good match when we met. We might not be a good match all these years later, or there might be a bunch of friction, but nonetheless, you got to appreciate at that time what they brought to your life and that you did pick them too. Like we don't have arranged marriages. Like I'd be a whole lot more upset, but understanding if this was arranged. I would understand because like now I just don't know how. Exactly. I don't know how this happened. Honestly, again, you think clear when you get off drugs.
What was you on? Do tell. Booger sugar? I was just like,
Like,
again,
stop.
you see the reasons for the divorce keep coming more and more on.
Nah, nah. All jokes aside, nah, for real, for real. Nah, but I recognize that. Again, I picked her. There was some form of me picking her, she picking me, but recognizing like, yo, it's not like I was forced upon this. So I'm gonna be up. Like, again, listen, just acknowledge your faults and go from there, seeing what you can improve on. Um, I think that, and then also just recognizing the relationship because it wasn't all bad. It would because especially like it would have ended a whole lot sooner. So what were the good aspects? What were the bad aspects? Again, it's just an analyzation and inventory of the good and bad moments, and you want to replicate more of those good moments in your next relationship. What led to those good moments? What led to those good times? What were you? Where were you at? Where were they at? You know what I mean? And so that when you get into your next relationship, you can recognize that as well. But you gotta again start with healing yourself, and first and foremost, I should have started by saying this: understanding that there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Just because she doesn't want to be with me doesn't make me any less than a man. It doesn't. It just, you know what I mean? I'm not, like she was sitting there saying before, just like she's not the woman for me, I'm not the man for her. But that doesn't make her any less than a woman, and that doesn't make me any less than a man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I can't be for everybody. I got to recognize that first and foremost. And I don't want to be for everybody, you know? Um, but understanding that there is nothing essentially wrong with who you are, but you can definitely be better. So improve on the things that need improving on. But it's not one of those, oh, nobody's ever going to love me again, or I'm just incredibly flawed as a person, as a man, as a woman. So, no, that's not it one bit, you know. And just going from there. That's what I believe self healing and the necessary
Okay. Wow. Now, ladies and
steps.
gentlemen.
On to
Um.
the love doctor, as she likes to call herself. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm back here with the. This is the love doctor. I'm sorry. Um.
What time is it? She
So
brought this.
self healing.
I know I can come with the quiet storm voice, but damn,
Wow.
what she just did just now? What?
Wow.
She trying to seduce one of y'all niggas out there. She's hoping you watching. That's what it
What?
is.
Can I
She
get?
hoping you watching.
Well, back to the self healing part of this show. Gosh. Um. What did I ask you? I know, of course, our process, but the importance, necessity. Okay, of course, it's freaking like no, it's no time frame. No, it's no time frame on how long somebody has to take to heal or whatever, whatever. But I do think you do need to heal. Don't just hit up that rebound real quick as a lot or some people do. Um, you do need to heal, absolutely, and just like you were saying, just so you don't bring your same mistakes into the next relationship, but also understanding that they're not the your ex at the same time, like you were saying, bringing only the good, not so much the unnecessarily bad traits that you remember and now you want to bring back up because you're acting like him or her again. So that's why healing is very, very, very much important. What I did, I went on vacation. You know what I'm saying? I just went away. You know, uh, no, found a. I'm not gonna go there.
I could have sworn you found a corner in the house and cried myself. I put myself in timeout.
No. Um, honestly, I started a lot of self reflection, a lot of really sitting down and understanding the actual after when you're outside of it looking in, it's actually you can understand like okay, yeah, I was wrong. Yes, absolutely. Not saying that he was wrong either, but I did definitely played my part in this, like you were saying, understanding that neither one of us were perfect, and neither one of us, you know what I mean, were forced into this situation. Even though I beg to differ. You ask how Janai was born.
What did Beyonce say? Drunken in love. I was a drunk night.
I haven't
More drunk than love.
I
But
haven't
drunk.
took a shot of wine since. So you be the judge.
Ruthie's work. She'll tell you.
That's it. But no, really just understanding what I did. I was doing watching Black Love. I ain't gonna lie. I was watching Black Love and learning from what they were like, some certain healing processes that they went through after their breakup, either if it was the spouse they were with at the time or the spouse they were with before they got to the spouse they were with at the time. Just understanding their process, and I'm one that has to I have to see, or I'm a visual person, hear it. I have to know it's out there and give me some examples, type of stuff like that. So um, that whole ordeal was a big part of my process. Meditating is still it's one of the things that I've picked up and really the self awareness when you can calm yourself down a little bit, not all the way, but just so you don't catch a case. Um, just so you don't catch a case.
You see the lifetime shit I was living with. I just wanted to point that out.
That's it. that was probably one of the and then yeah, just getting back to the things that I love to do. Not saying that somebody was holding me hostage, but I felt just getting back to yourself and knowing what you love to do and stuff like
I had to give up when I realized that ransom wasn't getting paid.
that.
My
Tried to tell
demands
him.
are not being met.
I
You
tried to
know?
tell him like, yo,
Like,
this is
God.
way too high. This is way too high.
You know,
So yeah, he let me
not
go. I'm free.
right.
But no.
Curious, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Just speaking on us,
Yeah.
as far as would you? Because I'm just curious for your input. Do you, as far as within the breakup process itself? Because we did do counseling. I did a little
We did
bit.
do counseling.
Actually, more than one, if I'm not
We
mistaken.
did.
More than one.
We did.
And
Didn't work.
okay.
It worked individually.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That's another thing. Listen,
Not.
I will admit, I did individual. Like after we had split the whole nine, I did individual counseling for a little bit. Partly because I wanted to make sure
Couples? No.
I wasn't crazy. Let me stop. But seriously,
And
but
found out he was.
that's why I had to quit going.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
uh,
I'm sorry.
nah, but do you think, is there anything as far as like, do you think we quit too soon? Um, what is there any of that within the process? Like I'm just throwing that out there, or that the way we is that would you look at it like, do you think we quit? Do you think we quit? Let me put it like that.
No, it was over.
It was over.
It was over.
Okay.
Like it was toxic.
Okay.
Like yeah, no, it was yeah, no. Um, I don't think we gave up or anything like that. I don't know. I don't feel because I don't feel any way towards it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, oh, why did you leave me? I'm like, nigga, all right, go ahead. I wish you well. Hopefully, please, girl, come get this man so he can leave me the fuck alone.
Right, Queen, whoever you are.
Her name
Right.
started with a J.
Stay tuned for next week when you get the next letter. You know what I mean? Maybe she has a really long name.
Maybe.
God damn.
Maybe not. Maybe it's abbreviated. Maybe not. But no, I don't. I don't feel. Do you feel like it's like?
No. I don't. No, I don't think we gave up.
I think it's on its course.
You know what? I was, because giving up and quitting are two different things. I do think we gave up on the relationship. I don't think we quit. You know what I mean? I do think that towards the end we had already given up on us,
But we had a kid.
but at the same time, I don't think it's the same thing like we quit, because we gave up, but we're still working to get back. We did work to try to get back to, it's like, you know what, I'm done. Like we both said we were done before we were officially done, but we took the necessary steps, like, yo, can we get back to where we were? Because if it doesn't have to be done, it doesn't have to be done. Oh, it was done.
It was done.
Like, you ever have that steak, it's done. Like, your meal, ding, it's
It was
done.
tough.
You know what I mean? Like,
And,
you bake cookies and them shit's hard.
Yeah, that's what it was. Again, it was a toxic environment. Like if you could see the fog, the cloud of toxicity that came with him, it's crazy.
With
Again,
me, bro.
when we broke up, the breath of fresh air. Oh my gosh, it was like I could go hiking again. It wasn't. Oh man, it was just amazing. Okay, so
I can relate
No.
her to the queen of the damned. We could go down the fucking laundry list that she was to wake up to. Not even. Listen, like she said, it was toxic. She wasn't even. I wasn't even. We weren't even sleeping in the same room at that point.
It was not.
But nah. Again, that's another episode.
It
We're
was done.
actually, yeah, just like this episode is done. You know what I mean?
Check.
Stay tuned next week when you get a new letter.
I'll say it right now. ESS.